Good morning. Hello. Thank you so much for joining me. How are you all today? Thank you so much for being here, and good evening to you, the NARC Files, focusing on healing and freedom. I have to check out your channel. Thank you so much for being here. Hello, Adrina. Hi, Danny. Thank you so much, guys, for joining me this morning, Friday morning. And I figured, well, you know what? I'm going to be home. So let me pull through and say hello to the people and see if there are any questions that I can answer for you today. How is everybody doing? How are you feeling? Are you taking care of yourself? How has your week been? Hey, Adrina. Thank you so much for being here. I truly do appreciate you. How is everybody today? I am just changing one setting and then we're going to jump right into it. So, what do you want to talk about today? Because, like, you have me. I have no topic. I'm here to talk about whatever you want to talk about, whatever questions you want me to answer. I got you. And so, we are here. I am so thankful that it's the weekend too. You're right. How is the weather where you're at? So in Dallas or in Texas, at least, it is freezing. It's cold. It's cold. Like I think today we're like at maybe 27, and then by Sunday we're gonna be at 8 degrees. So it's gonna be like really interesting for those that are not used to this type of weather. But it's all good. God is still good. Sunny and hot. Just rub it in for us. Rub it in. Um, that's right. We have the retreat coming up, the self love retreat coming up in March. Adrina just mentioned it. So we are going to be talking about that on Sunday. And so, we'll share more information. Tanya and I will share more information with you about the retreat on March. That's coming up in March. And we'll be able to talk about it and see, share more information with you on Sunday. Yeah, so it's going to be a time of healing and, just working our way through or helping you work your way through overcoming narcissistic abuse. So when it comes to the narcissist, y'all, what do you want to talk about today? Okay, so Danny's saying that he had his first court proceeding on Wednesday and everything went great. That is awesome. And I know that you were more than likely very prepared to go to court with the narc. So I know that I understand the joy that you're feeling because it's difficult, when you have to go to court with them. So congratulations to you on your no contact as well as the progress that you're making personally, professionally, and everything that that you've been working towards as you go through your process of healing. So it's awesome and it's great to hear from you and have you share your feedback with you. Good morning, Miss Sharni. Thank you so much for joining us. So it's questions and answers today. Um, I had somebody that did send me a question asking if we could talk briefly about, dating after narcissistic abuse. I think when it comes to dating after narcissistic abuse, one of the most important things is that you don't rush yourself. Pace yourself, give yourself the time that you need to actually heal. And you know when you're ready to date because it's just an authentic feeling that's going to come to you naturally. You're not going to want to do it to be seen with somebody because a lot of the times, well, not even a lot of the times, but when narcissists move on, they 9 out of 10 already have their next person in already on the side. And so it's really, a lot of the times you'll sit back and look at them and say, oh my God, their life is going on and I have nobody. And it really can mess with a lot of people's minds, being just having to watch that person move on and see them continue to move on with their lives as if it's as if you didn't exist or nothing mattered. And then when you have things like the smear campaign going on behind your back or even now in your face, it really makes people or victims feel as though, you know what, I have to prove that I'm not the problem, because the narcissist moves on and they're like, well, I'm not the problem. You see, I'm happy in my new relationship. But you have to remember that everything about that new relationship is a facade. Nothing is real. It's all supposed to be an illusion to make everybody see you as the problem, you as the issue. So you've got to be very careful. You got to be very careful to not buy into that. It is all a lie. You think about the beginning of your relationship with the narcissist. It was good too, right? But then consider how it ended. Consider what happened behind closed doors when nobody could see what was going on, what you were being subjected to. And all they see is the facade that the narcissist wants to put out and that you actually support, you know? And so none of it is real. So you've got to just continue to remember that. Take your time and really do the work to heal. Trace through your life to see, are there any unhealed areas? A lot of the times you find that there may be something in childhood. It might not always be the case, but pretty often you do find that there is something that was going on earlier in life. And so when you're able to start healing that issue, you find that healing flows into other areas of your life, including the hurt and the pain that you experience with the narcissist. And so that healing just becomes so fundamental to who you are and who you're becoming. And it's just, it's something that's so important. It's so important that you take your time and you pace yourself. You don't want to make a rash decision and end up with somebody who is going to put you back into a painful place and prolong your overall healing. Because listen, if we're going to do the work to heal, let's do it once and for all. Let's do it so that it's beneficial for our entire lives. A lot of the times healing is an ongoing process. That's not to say that you're going to be in a state of healing, like intense healing forever, because you're not. You're going to get to a point where you become healthy. And when I say healthy, you're able to articulate your pain effectively. You're able to express yourself and you're able to honor yourself. You're able to see, okay, in these areas, this is where, I ignored red flags, or this is where I diminished my own capacity for whatever reasons, right? But you now at this point are honoring yourself and you're making decisions. You're no longer ignoring red flags and all of those things. So it's important that you pace yourself. Don't rush it. Love is not going to leave you. Love is going to be there waiting for you, but you have to trust the process. And in order for you to embrace a true lasting love, you've got to, make sure that you're as ready for it as possible, because you don't want to go through these cycles, not just toxic relationships, but just breakups that were not necessary because maybe we didn't make the best choice for the person. So really pace yourself. Pace yourself. The process of healing, one thing about the process of healing that I truly do think is so underrated is that you are, when you're really intentional with it, you come into awareness of your true self. You come into awareness of your unique qualities and the great person that you are. And that process of self-discovery is such a beautiful thing. And it's in that process where you're able to say, oh my gosh, you know what? These are the things that I truly do love and value about myself. And once you have those things, you become unshakable in so many ways. And so really take your time, because what you may not realize, what you may not see, is that you're a gift to the earth. You're a gift to all of us. And so treat yourself like the gift that you are. Honor yourself like the gift that you are. Respect yourself like the gift that you are, because we want to experience the gift that you are. But a lot of it is only going to start to come through when you are operating from a place of healing. And so that's what I would say about dating after narcissistic abuse. I see Adriana has a comment here. She says, Also, be mindful of which relationship coaches you find yourself taking advice from. And that's such an awesome point. And here's the thing about it: when you have a lot of relationship coaches, a lot of their information is wonderful, but it's not tailored to narcissistic abuse or to NPD. Let's say narcissistic personality disorder. NPD is not narcissism, as in, how people say, oh, that's, you're such a narcissist. That word is thrown around so much. And, you'll find that some of the coaches, I've seen it, will tell you, oh, that's a narcissist. It's not even a narcissist that they're dealing with, or to tell you to reason with a narcissist. Like, listen, there is no reasoning with a narcissist. So really be careful. This is one reason why I like to tell you all the time, you cannot eat at everybody's table. You've got to really be sure that you're intentional with who you are allowing to speak to you, what voice you're allowing to become part of your daily diets, because sometimes it can propel you forward a lot faster and other times it can hold you back. So pace yourself and really be sure that what they're saying truly resonates with you and actually makes sense. Does it, do you feel uncomfortable? Are you empowered? Are you encouraged? Does it just feel like, you're having just a yay good time? Like, what is it about that, what they're saying to you, that makes, or that makes you feel good or resonates with you? Go back and do some research about the things that they say. But also, guys, it's important that you qualify the people that you're listening to, myself included. Go and see, who is she, what makes her fit to talk about what she's talking about, and why should I invest my time listening to her? These are things that you have to say to yourself. You have to ask yourself, so that you're not doing a disservice to yourself. You don't want to prolong your own process of healing because you did not, because you didn't, or because you ended up listening to somebody who didn't have your overall well-being at heart. So that's what I would say about that. So I'm going to go to Demi's question, and she says, um, I blocked the narcissist. Did I do the right thing? He's given me the silent treatment. I'm just tired of the cat and mouse games. Well, congratulations on taking the first step. You blocking the narcissist is the right thing to do. A lot of the times, it feels weird because you're actually shifting the balance of power. You've taken away their ability to have any type of power and control over you. When you block them, you telling them that I don't want to talk to you anymore. This is over. When narcissists give silent treatment, right? Their silent treatment is always as a manipulation tactic. It is always a form of punishment, and it's a way to devalue you, and it's a way to tell you that I'm not happy with you right now. And oftentimes, when that you're getting the silent treatment from a narcissist, that's also because they need the freedom to do what they want to do on the side without interference from you. And so, silent treatment from a narcissist is very much different to when we say we're going to block you, we're going no contact with you, and we're now in effect also issuing silent treatment. The difference is that when we do it, it's about protecting ourselves. It's a boundary. It is, and the great thing about boundaries is it's a way of self-preserving. Boundaries are there to protect and preserve who you currently are, as well as who you are becoming. If you did not take that step to have that boundary, then what happens in effect is, you continue to have contact with this person, or they will call you whenever they feel like it, say whatever they want to say to you, devalue you, stress you out, come through with the crazy making, tell you about, their new fake life and all of those things. All of it is designed to just be a mind game for you. It's all strategic to just mess you and keep you bound. But this is where you take the power back. Narcissism, or not, narcissistic abuse is really about them having power and control over you. That's what they want. That is, that's the root of what they want from their victims. They want power and control over your mind, over your life, over just everything as it pertains to you. But now here you go saying, not today. I'm in control of me, and I'm denying you that. And so, it does feel weird initially, because it's like, especially in, earlier stages of the breakup or the discard, you still, there's parts of you which is normal that still miss this person. But don't allow those feelings, or feeling like, is this the right thing? Yes, it absolutely is the right thing, but continue to focus forward. And in those moments where you're having difficulty processing what is going on, or just where you are and what the situation is, make a list. Make a list about this person, and allow your list to dictate to you why this relationship couldn't work out. What is problematic about this person? Make that list. Let it be as clear as day to you, so that you can set things in perspective, and it'll be a reminder that, yes, I'm doing the right thing. Anytime you feel those feelings of rumination, or those, just like, did I really do the right thing? Make that list. That list will always save the day. The list will remind you that, yes. And, be honest with yourself with the list, especially when you start thinking about, the nice things that they did. Because, yes, of course, there were times when they did nice things, but those were just times. They were like here and there. It was not consistent, and it wasn't, it wasn't sincere. So I hope that answers your question, Demi. After having a after having had the counterfeit friendship with the super narc demon, I am super leery of friendships with people, men and women alike. Many people are not genuine in general, but that doesn't mean that there are not genuine people out there. And that's one of the things that, we have to remind ourselves, that yes, there are people that have very ill intentions against us, but there are still some beautiful souls in this world. Not everybody is going to be narcissistic or a narcissist, and we are going to encounter genuine loving relationships once we are fully aware of ourselves, once we, start honoring our own boundaries and that type of thing. And when we start seeing these red flags, we can cut them off. But what I'm trying to say really is just to encourage you to know that there are some great people out there, and you absolutely deserve loving relationships. You deserve people who will be there to support you, to reciprocate everything that you are offering those relationships, that friendship. You deserve all of that in return. But allow time to expose weak bonds. Time is always going to do what time does. When you meet people, just be careful, listen more than you speak, hear what they have to say. Remember, words, they say, like, words over action over words, right? So what is the person's words saying, and are their actions aligning with that? But beyond that, a person's actions are only part of it. What now, when their actions become repetitive, that's a pattern. Let's not ignore the patterns of their behavior or of their character, because that's very revealing. So, you know, just continue to trust that you will encounter great people, because you will, and that's just part of life. So thank you for that, though, for that comment, Adriana. Good morning, Miss Forbes. Yep, actions speak louder than words, and that's always going to reveal a person's intention, or it's always going to expose their heart or show their heart. So, just be very careful with what you're saying, or what you're revealing about yourself, because that's also another thing. Is like the narc wants you to do all the talking about yourself, to reveal. And this is just so they know how to mirror you. And mirroring you, remember, gives them that access that they want, to be able to play you, to give you a piece of you. But be careful, like, is the person sharing as much of themselves as you are sharing? So again, it becomes that two-way thing, or a two-way street. Okay, thanks. But what about my own friends? Many of my friends are upset that I allowed the narc to push them away, which I understand. I would feel a certain type of way too. So, I think what it is for them is that they may not understand what it is, because when you consider the nature of a narcissist, they're predators. And part of how their game works and how they're effective with the abuse is they have to isolate their targets. And so until they can see this person as a true predator and operating in predatory modes, it's hard, I think, for people to truly understand, what this person was doing. I being that we know about, narcissists and how they are and what they do, I wouldn't fault the victim, because I understand this is how it has to work for the narcissist to be effective at what they are planning on doing to you. So it's not that it's the victim's fault. For friends like that, if they're truly your friends, I think from what I would do, what I would suggest, and I would seriously ask myself, like, is this a friendship that's going to, is it a friendship that I need to save? Is this a friendship that is going to be a good thing for me over time? Am I going to be a good influence in their life also? Because a lot of, when I came out of my relationship, I reevaluated a lot of relationships, not just that, that intimate relationship, but I reevaluated my friendships, who stays and who goes, because I knew I was entering into that season where I needed the time and the space to heal. And I didn't need too many contrary voices. I needed those that would be supportive, those that would be loving, those that would encourage, those that would speak to my true potential, not to who I used to be, not to what I settled for, not to any of that. I needed people that would help me get to where I need to be. And I needed those that would give me the grace to grieve the loss of that relationship, as well as, to go through the motions and be patient with me. Not all friendships can support that, because for them it's like, get over it. And those are things that we don't need to hear, because you don't just get over this relationship. There's a process that's involved, and you've got to be able to, go through the process fully, so that you can heal effectively. So maybe if your friends are a little more knowledgeable on what NPD is, whether they read books, whether they read blogs, whether they watch videos, maybe if they could get some education on what was truly happening, not necessarily just your story, because I'm sure they've heard your story, but for them to hear the stories of other survivors, it may help their understanding as to why, why things played out the way that they do. And it's also important that people understand that when you say things to survivors of narcissistic abuse, to survivors of domestic violence, to survivors of sexual assault, that, why didn't you say something sooner? Why did you stay so long? It doesn't help the situation. Why did you let them do this to you? Nobody signs up for these things. These narcissists, psychopaths, sociopaths are predators. They are predators. And when it comes to predators, they operate in a particular way so that they're able to get that supply that they need from their targets. You don't just get supply off the street like it's nothing, They they operate in a particular way so that they're able to fully maximize on the supply that they're getting from their targets. So they have to understand, or if they're willing to get educated on what your experience was, as well as getting resources so that they can effectively learn and then move forward, or to understand, then they'll know how to support you as a friend. But when they ask those type of questions, it's the very reason why victims choose not to, or sometimes stay in these relationships longer than they have to, because you know that this is what people are going to say. And so a lot of times, you'll have the victim say, well, better I deal with the devil that I know than face the condemnation of those who are supposed to love me. And so they stay. And you don't want people to stay in those type of situations, because let's be honest. Some of them are sociopaths, some of them are psychopaths. People die in those type of relationships. But not every narcissist is a murderer, but what they all effectively do is kill a person from the inside out. And when people come out of these relationships, you literally need life support. You don't need to be condemned. You don't need to be condemning people. So, as much as you wouldn't have settled for this, as good as they think they are, understand this is a whole predator. You don't know what you would have done had you encountered a psychopath or a sociopath. You just don't know. And so, you just have to be grateful that it wasn't you. But I hope that answers your question. I hope that answers your question. So I'm going to see if there's any other questions in the comments here. Good morning, Miss Karen. It's great to see you. Good morning, Coach. How are you today? Thank you so much for being here. So yeah, that's what I would say about that. I don't see any other question here. I'm going to pull up one that I actually received earlier. Give me a second. Okay. Oh, here's one. Okay, so how do you successfully cut yourself off from the narc husband when you have a 3-year-old? I don't trust who he will take her around. He is lying about the kids, things I don't know. All right, so let me ask you this. Do you have a separation agreement? Do you have anything in the court system as far as custody of the child? That would be the first thing that I would be curious about. But it's really difficult when the child is so young, because they can't speak up for themselves just yet. Okay, here's a child with a side woman. You don't have any paperwork. Okay. All right. Does he see the child consistently? It's really tricky when it comes to this part, because narcissists will tend to act one of two ways. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter. They're not going to love the child. That's just one hard fact. They don't love. They're not going to love the child. They're going to love the benefits of having that child in their life. So the child is going to be like just a source of supply. So it's never that they'll, love, like just normal parents. They won't offer that type of love or support to the child. And so that child, being that the baby is so young, 3 years old. Okay. So one thing I think is that you be effective in how you handle the narcissist. And what I mean is that when it comes to the contact that you maintain with the narcissist, keep it strictly about the child. Nothing more, nothing less. And only contact when you need to, that low contact, minimum contact. Um, as much as you can, just focus on the child, and don't get sucked into the other drama that he projects about the other child, because they will do a lot of shenanigans to try to pull you into that drama, because all of this is going to be fuel to the narcissist. It's going to give them also stuff to to bash you about, to talk about you to the other supplies, and say, you see, I told you she was crazy, you won't believe what I had to deal with, and that type of thing. Okay. um just continue to act like you don't know anything. Don't feed to the, as long as your child is not being hurt physically. Allow, just allow things to be the way that they are. But what I would say is to always reinforce the love, or just continue to love your child as you raise him or her, because we don't know what happens when they go off to the with the narc parent. You don't know how they're treated, especially being that they're so young. They can't articulate what's truly happening. I mean, I know as best as they can, they share what they can with us, but continue to love the child. Continue to pour into your child, and pay attention to any signs. Document everything. Document, just set up, get a notebook, set up, or a way that you start talking about what's going on. Like, okay, he picked up the baby this day at this time, brought the baby back, and just make any notes about what, the condition of the child, that type of thing, just to have some type of system that you have established yourself, that you can follow and see what is going on as you're as you're just going about this journey, because it's still quite a journey ahead of you. And it's going to, you don't know what happens down the road, but it gives you like a way to look back over time. And it may be that there's nothing going on, but just write down everything. Jot down all the different communications, and just have some type of documentation to that is going to be consistent, and that will stand and speak for you over time. And that's going to be very important, and can be helpful to you in the long run. But more than anything, consistently check in with your child, see how your baby is doing, and love and support your child. Lots of love, lots of compassion, lots of patience. When they are dealing with a narcissistic parent, there again, there is no love. And people will say stuff like, well, how can you be sure narcissists don't love their children? Narcissists don't love anybody. They don't even love themselves. And if you don't love yourself, we cannot fool ourselves and say that we love another person effectively. That doesn't happen. It doesn't exist. It's not real. It just doesn't happen. And so, just understand it, that that's what it is, but continue to protect your child and be there. And if you find that there are any inconsistencies, then see if you can get a family therapist involved for your baby, so that your child gets the tools that they need while they are still young. Tragically, the courts do not recognize emotional abuse as something that they need to protect our children from. And until they do, we have to do our part as parents. In time, your child will be able to speak up and tell you what they want. And at that point, that's when systems begin to honor the wishes of the child. Yeah. So I hope that answers your question. And for everybody who is just joining, good morning and thank you for being here. Okay, so I'm just seeing what else is here. The false confidence in the dynamics of economic perspective. Right. And it's just that false confidence, and part of that false confidence comes from how they've mirrored people. They've been watching people over time, and when narcissists mirror, right, it's not that they just mirror what you as a potential target like, and so that they can lock you in, so to speak, but they watch your mannerisms, like how did she laugh. Oh, how does he talk? What is the language that he uses? And so you'll find oftentimes that they will go off, or you might even be like out. I remember being out one time at a dinner party, and suddenly my stories were his stories. And I'm like, hold up, wait, you weren't there. But when it comes to mirroring, when it comes to mirroring, it's real crazy, but that's where they're able to really become um actors, because they're just playing out what they saw you do. Exactly. For young children, like they can't speak for themselves, and as their parents, as a parent, I would rather do the most than not do enough to protect my child. It's difficult when you live in that space of regret, that I wish I did this, but you didn't. And it's just a very difficult place for you to be. Yep, they copy absolutely everything. Adrena, they copy absolutely everything. That's what they do. They copy everything. And okay, even when when you're talking about copying your recipes and that type of thing, this is where you also see, like, they will also try to get their new supplies to look like you. They will try to get them to buy the same type of car like you, live in the same neighborhoods like you, sometimes even encourage them to do the same things as you, like, maybe you should change your career, maybe you need to go work at this place, maybe you need to do that type of thing. How sick and twisted do you have to be to try to literally become another person? One thing that they deny themselves, and I think this has to be part of the curse of the narcissist, is the ability to be themselves. Long ago, they gave themselves up, they gave up their real self and opened up themselves to this false self, and that they want you to believe is who they truly are. But the false self of a narcissist is a collection of multiple people. But the crazy thing is that everybody has something special about them, and it's just their curse that they'll never get to see who they are because of how they've chosen to live their lives. And that's just that. Notice the narc acting like me. Oh, wow. I, wow. Yeah, no comment at all, because, like, what do you say? This is what they do. This is what they do. And this goes to show you that when it comes to narcissistic supply, anything goes. This is why a lot of the times when we are talking about narcissists, we will always refer to them as trisexual. They will try anything. It does not matter, male, female, Nercophilia, bestiality, anything goes with these people. Hey, Cree, nice to see you. Thank you for joining. I hope you're having a good day at work. But like anything goes with them because it's about narcissistic supply. And it doesn't matter where that supply is coming from. Is this to say that every narcissist, psychopath, or sociopath will do this? No, but they have the potential to. They have the potential to. So there's absolutely no chill when it comes to them. It's supply is supply, and supply is supply. That's what I can say about that. Like, wow, yeah, I was so speechless with that one. I didn't see it coming. And that's the crazy thing is though, when it comes to these people, there is no, they're not afraid to push the envelope with their crazy. They will continue to do the most. They'll continue to push things to whatever extreme that they want to or they have to get whatever they need. That's, and it doesn't matter for them. People, their own children, collateral damage. I mean, what do they have to lose? They just will do whatever they have to do what they have to do and get what they want. And so, yeah, for them, it really doesn't even matter. It does not matter at all. And that's one of the things that is so sick and twisted about them is that they don't care who has to be hurt to get their way. You encounter those ones. And now, this would be more of the psychopath that I just wanted to know what it was like to kill. Like, I mean, it's 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 crazy. It is absolutely crazy that that they do this, but these people are amongst us, and yeah, it's wow. Thank you so much for sharing that with us, Karen, because like it really does speak to how far they will go. It speaks to how far they will go. Nope, you're right. They don't care who they hurt. They just, as long as they're getting what they want in return, and then it's all good. And then it's all good. So Sunday is Valentine's Day, y'all. Don't fall for the hoover. Don't fall for those games. You don't deserve a hoover. You deserve somebody to love you genuinely and authentically, which we know the narc is not going to do. The narc hasn't changed. So please don't fall for that hoover. Don't fall for the hoover. You're not missing anything. Don't fall for it the day before. Don't fall for it the day after. Just continue to focus forward on your own journey of healing and enjoy your day. I know that it's a touchy day and some people get anxious about it. Do something special for you. Plan something for yourself. Get dressed up. Don't get dressed up. Join me on Sunday nights live. Let's have let's chat then. We'll talk about, on Sunday, I'm talking about why the narcissist or how the narcissist tries to chain you to your past. So, we can take our mind off the narc. We don't have to focus on these people. Focus on yourself. It's a perfect day to love on yourself. You love on yourself 365, 24/7, but don't lose your focus because it is that day. You deserve so much more. So the journal is actually going to be out on Sunday, the 14th. So I'll share the link to my website where you can order it from, as well as you can get it on Amazon too, but that'll be on Sunday. And then I have a book, but I haven't settled on a date for the book yet. It's like ready to come out. Everything is done. I just haven't picked the date yet. So I don't know, maybe you can help me decide. I was thinking maybe sometime in April, but I've spent so long working on Fearless, the relentless pursuit. And that book, it's not that it's for anybody. You don't have to be a victim of narcissistic abuse to appreciate that book. You don't have to be a victim of anything. You have to be somebody who wants to be, who wants to achieve something different or have a different result with your life. You want to achieve your truest potential. that's who the book is geared for. And I spent so long writing the book, a long time writing the book, because I wanted to be sure that I put out something that is quality. And I'm very happy with it. I'm in love with it. I'm in love with, with the message. And it's how I've been living my life and how I try to live my life. And so I just wanted to share that with you. So um I'm going for April for that book, but I'll continue to share I'll continue to share that with you. You deserve true love that will honor you, that will respect you, that will be there for you. So I believe that in time we will all find true love. But it will actually find us, and the thing about it is it comes when you least expect it. You're not looking for it, it'll find you. Good for you, Karen. Good for you. Good for you. Did you guys bring your coffee? And I'm just taking a sip now, but I'm going to go through these comments and see if I missed anything. Oh, here Adrina's talking about narcs will pretend to be your genuine better half. And this is why it's so twisted, because you really feel like I found my soulmate. And this is where it becomes so crushing. It's because they're and this that's because they're such predators. Let's remember that. And let's not take our focus off the fact that they are predators. They work in such a cunning way to make you feel that way. They give absolutely 100% of themselves to fooling you, to actually trying to convince you that you are their soulmates. And all of that work, all of that energy, all of that effort, so they can now use you. Use you for whatever narcissistic supply that they want. Not every narcissist wants your money or sex from you. Some of them, like the cerebral narc, they may just want you to be there to admire them, to give them all that adulation and adoration because they're smart or whatever. They may want you because you're beautiful, you're sexy, you're handsome, and they need some arm candy when they go out to these events for work with the community, based on whatever type of work they may do. But they use you to get what they want, and they groom you for that. So it's like it's really crazy. It's really really crazy how they operate, and how committed they are to being so vile just so that they can strip you of your own identity, you know and it's like I mentioned earlier, how with them, you they it tends to feel like they kill you from the inside out. And that's why, how people call them the energy vampires. They suck the life out of you. And so that's just part of that process. You always feel depleted, you always feel drained, you feel exhausted, you feel tired coming out of this relationship, because it's an energy vampire. Their goal is to suck the life out of you, to leave you with nothing, because you with nothing means they got everything. They got everything. And so, it's just, yeah, that's where it's demented. That's where it's demonic. We can't ignore that fact. Absolutely. Get mad when that person starts dying and blame that person for dying. Gaslight the person during the process of the dying, and then be the victim to everybody else that's, watching the situation unfold. It's so, it's it's the most ridiculous thing ever. Thank you so much, Cree. I appreciate you. Right. The kill from the inside out. And that's why, when people come out of the relationship, it's really, you come out like feeling like a shell of your former self. You you ever look at old pictures like when you were with the narc, and how, in fact, go to when before you were ever with them, you looked a particular type of way. You get with them and then you end up looking like, wow, what happened to you? Meanwhile, they're glowing and everything. The moment you truly cut off that supply, it's like there's a shift again. You get to go back to how you were, because you've had the opportunity to feed yourself again, and you cut off that leech. They're leeches. They suck all your, like how leeches will suck blood from its host, and that is draining to you, and it kills from the inside out. And then not only that, but then they end up looking like what you were during the relationship, because they don't have that fuel from you anymore. And that's why you get to notice, or you get to experience or witness how important the soul of a victim is to them, because it's that soul that actually feeds them. It's the soul that sustains them. It's the soul that they need to continue to grow, and when I say grow, I mean, within their narcissism or whatever. But when the narc pushes you away, when they discard you, whatever, you find that they always come back. Narcissists forever return to the scene of the crime, because they give you just enough room to breathe and to start to recoup, because they know they leave people when you start to become boring, when you become dull, and they found somebody who is better than you, whatever better means. And then, whatever that better means, right? And so in all of that, they know that you need the time to replenish your soul. So now once they've had that time to replenish your soul, they want you back, because they need now to tap into the new parts of you, the new parts of you. And for a lot of, for many of them, they stop at nothing. They will forever be a thorn in your flesh. And I mean, I want to say that hemorrhoid that just keeps popping up, because they want to have that access to you. And that's all because they want access to, to the parts of you that have evolved. They want to be able to tap into that part of your, your new development, that new supply, because you're always, as you become better, as you heal, you're more attractive, and it's your inner qualities that are attractive, so that if they're able to siphon that from you, then they can get better quality supply, because now they have the tools within them, within that empty shell, to attract other people. And this is, okay, I wasn't even trying to go here today, but then this is where we can sit back and look, and we can discuss the transference of spirits are attracted to like things. And so if they're able to successfully siphon, like, let's just say, a super empath, right? And this is like after a discard, the empath is grown, they're now in a fully awakened state about themselves, then they're going to be more attractive, and the narc is going to want them. And you'll find that even at that advanced stage of growth, you'll attract even crazier people. And it's not that it's a reflection of you, but it's the qualities that you carry. It's the qualities that make you that they want, because they're able to now, not just get when they siphon your qualities, right? They're going to use those very things to mirror people who are similar to you that might not yet be awake. And so for them, it's like, I can get better grade supply. And this is looking at it through a spiritual lens. You're not going to be able to, necessarily decipher that with if we were to take it on a carnal level. And so that's why they tend to want to always come back into your life once you go. It's not that it's that you're just an extension to the narcissist for no reason. It's because they have to remain connected to you. They need that source, they need that host, so that they can continue to leech, so that they can continue to live. Absolutely. Yep. I mean, like, literally suck the life out of you. Hello, Red Pill. I'm so glad that you're here and part of our community. And thank you for allowing me to be part of your journey. Not just me, but everybody in this community to be part of your journey as you heal. And it is hurtful to cut off people, but your future self deserves this and will thank you for it. So, sometimes we look at what we lose as we let go of certain relationships, but at the end of the day, don't ever forget that when you're cutting off toxic people, you're doing what you essentially need, but you're also creating a space in your life for people who are going to be good to you, who are going to be loyal, who are going to be loving, supportive, and overall positive influences in your life. You're making space for them. And so, let that help you heal, hold on to that fact, because you need room for people in your life that are going to honor who you are and support who you are, and most importantly, simply love you for who you are. We don't have to do anything to be loved. You don't have to talk a certain way, you don't have to look a certain way, you just have to be yourself. And so, you know just continue the journey and continue the journey of healing, so that you can open up your heart for that, for the people that are going to come to fill in those open spaces in your life. God never takes away without replacing, and so I trust that He will give you the people that you need for you to continue the journey in life. Okay, so I'm going to share a funny story, and I'm seeing it because of what Adrena says here, right? So, and I'm sure I've shared this with you before. So, I have a podcast, right? Project Real Love, and I've had it for so long. And so, when I was dating this narc, he always wanted to be like a co-host, right? Always wanted to be a co-host. And I used to do it on like a different platform. I used to do it on Blog Talk back then, like going back to 2015. And so I just knew this person he's too crazy to be part of that journey with me. And it's funny that, I knew he's too crazy, but I was with him. But here we are. Anyway, once everything ended and I cut him off, I went no contact. It was this is where the Valentine's Day hoover came from me. And I did respond to it because at this point I was kind of curious and I wanted to know, like, is he truly a narc? And are these videos telling the truth about what they say? So I responded, and he started talking to me, and he went on and on and on about how he suddenly had the top rated relationship podcast. And he was like, aren't you curious about the name? And I was like, no, because if it's yours, it'll come up in my podcast suggestions, because mine was on my podcast on relationships. And so he was like, oh, yeah, I mean, the lies, guys, the lies they tell, he doesn't have a podcast, obviously, but the lies. And for me, that was like really where I had the opportunity to see, because now, the lenses were clean. I was not, buying any of the nonsense anymore. And I just sat back and I said, wow, everything that I've learned about narcissists, about narcissism is true. And so I don't have to second guess myself. I don't have to doubt myself, and I just let it go. Once I saw how this person could sit in my face and lie to me, and lie so effortlessly. And the lies were not that, they were not like small things. These were huge lies. I mean, massive lies. And I'm thinking, anybody, even a child, can go and look up the information that you're saying and know that you're lying. So you must think I'm stupid. And at that point, I just was like, you know what? This is definitely a crazy person, and I'm not going to waste my time anymore. And that kind of did help me move on, a lot more faster, should I say. Not that I didn't have to deal with the emotions, I did, but it was just being able to see it from, with the knowledge, with the information. It was just like, wow, these people lie about anything and absolutely everything. I mean, like when they lie, like their father, they're speaking their native language. And that's that. Yes, I will be live on Sunday. Thank you, Adriana. I will be here on Sunday. Yeah, but I have to go to work now, y'all. So I just wanted to spend some time with you today. I'll probably come back next Friday morning and we can do some more questions and answers. But I will be back on Sunday and we can chat some more then. Um, for those of you that are anxious, because it is Valentine's Day coming up, like, love yourself this Valentine's Day. Gift yourself with something, do something to honor yourself because you deserve it. You don't need, and you don't need what they had to offer you, because they didn't. At the end of the day, they really didn't have anything to offer you. All they offered was disappointment. They smell like disappointment. And can I do a video on why they don't love their kids? I sure can. I'll do that video for you. Yeah, but you deserve the best love that there is, and your self-love is going to be everything. So please have a great day, take care of yourselves, and love yourselves. Until Sunday, I'll see you then.